You might notice in this room that my voice sounds different, and that is because this was Paul's listening room from 1948 until about 1980 when we built the new laboratory. These are cylindrical acoustic diffusers that help the sound in this room a whole lot. This room in the late 50s also was Paul's recording studio. You know, he was not satisfied with the quality of records and tapes, and he decided to create what was known as the Klipschtape division of Klipsch & Associates. And he would sell to consumers reel-to-reel first-generation copies from his masters. Now, you might imagine that he was probably wanting to use Ampex tape equipment. You know, that is the Cadillac of the industry. I suspect he just couldn't afford Ampex, but he could afford Berlant. And he knew Mr. Berlant, and he could take a Berlant machine and hot rod it to be as good as the Ampex. This picture here is Paul, the tape player, and Mr. Berlant in front of one of Paul's 6 airplanes. And in early 1953, Paul writes to Berlant, "This afternoon, I witnessed a 2-channel audio perspective demonstration that worked. Now, and in one word, what you gonna do about it?" The next year, they were making stereo equipment. Now, Paul couldn't wait for the next year, so Berlant sent him a stereo head, and he modified his early mono unit. Paul was essentially dragging the industry into stereo. Stereo had been invented in the 20s by Bell Labs primarily, but the first stereo record didn't come until about 58. So from 1953, when he talked Berlant into running stereo equipment, Paul was recording in stereo. He was dragging the industry into this. He couldn't get a stereo amplifier, so he bolts 2 Fisher amplifiers together. We have a photo of him in this room recording, and behind him in this corner is a grand piano that was always kept because he liked to compare against the real thing. Not a trivial experiment.